Hello, beautiful friends. Let me see if I am live here. Happy Autumnal Equinox. There I am. Great. Let me share this. I hope everyone is doing just wonderful today. There we go. Sharing. It's happening. We are experiencing this wonderful balance of energies right now, which is today very restorative. Today is also my wedding anniversary, so I'm just feeling good. I'm celebrating and enjoying. I celebrated and enjoyed my day before the hubby had to go to work. And really, we had fun playing on the beach, drinking some champagne, having a nice breakfast at a fancy pants hotel and resort, doing all the good things that life has to offer today. So it left with me this feeling that I wanted to share. So I don't know who's going to join live. I have no problem with keep talking. I can keep going on and on. I'm working with 3 card decks here today. So I'm going to be working with Earth Magic from Stephen Farmer. I know this is backwards, but take my word for it. That's what it says. Hi, Tammy. So I'm not going to be doing individual card readings because I don't do that anymore. Because to be very frank, my energy readings are incredibly insightful, and I don't give them away for free anymore because I connect to you in a very intimate way. So it's really beyond the scope of what we can do here in a live where we've got a lot of people joining. So I'm doing a card reading for the equinox to let you know what's going on. And then I've got the Isis Oracle deck as well. Depending where the cards are drawing me, I'll be picking from any one of these 3 decks. The Isis Oracle is a lovely oracle deck from Alana Fairchild. If you're not familiar with her, she's awesome. And then the 3rd deck is Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron-Reid, who also has numerous decks at this point. So I have saged my room, I've saged myself, I've saged my cards. Let me tell you what's going on right now with this equinox energy. Let me move stuff around on my desk. I also have music going. If it's too loud, let me know. So yes, we are experiencing a balance of energies when day and night is about equal. They're about equal when the equinox happens. The spring equinox or the fall equinox. And when this balance, this harmonizing of the polarities takes place, we really have this feeling of like the dust is settling and coming out of the very abrupt and sometimes chaotic energies that really filled up the last few months of the summer. This is a time for us to take a deep breath, to collect the wisdom, the lessons, the knowledge that has all come in for us over the last, let's just say 3.5 months, so that we can take all this information and integrate it. This is really where we take everything that happened and bring it into a place of balance where it can make sense and it harmonizes our life so that we feel a little more tranquil, a little more serene, a little more at ease with ourselves and our surroundings, with the people in our lives, with the situations in our lives. And this is a good time to kind of retreat inward a little bit and take inventory. Because what's coming up in the next few months, pretty much starting from mid to late October and on through the end of the year, we've got another, let's just say, set of powerful energy surges coming through. So this really is a time for us to not only take inventory, but to relax and to settle into a state of being where we have the sense of radical self-acceptance for everything that's happened, for who we are. This reconciling, but more than that even, this acceptance with love and kindness and forgiveness of ourselves, to know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm exactly in the place where I'm supposed to be at, and it's good. It's good to be here. It's good to take a breather. So I'm shuffling this deck first, but this is not where I'm being told to pick the first card from. So let's pick some cards. Let's look into and get some more insight from the divine realms and the sacred realms, because we're working with, I like to always work with above and below, and since we're in the equinox and it's all about balance, that's why we're working with earth magic, wisdom of the hidden realms, and the Isis oracle, because it's like a full spectrum of energies of working with energies in the ascended realms and the sacred earthly realms. So these are my hidden realms cards, but I'm not being guided to pull from that yet. I'm actually being pulled to pulling from earth magic, yeah. Pulling from earth magic cards. So let me just tune in here for a second and do an extra clearing on these. So the first card I'm going to pull, and I'm guessing we're going to pull about 5 cards here today. That's the number that just popped into my head. So say hello, let me know you're here. Again, I'm not doing individual readings. You can ask questions for sure, but I'm not doing individual readings for you. I no longer do that unless you want to book a private session with me. So these are general readings based on, oh, okay, that's perfect, based on the energies that are happening right now. So the first card I pulled is perfect, and it is Lake. This is from Earth Magic Oracle cards from Stephen Farmer. Lake, stillness. So the best way to experience stillness, and look at that card, isn't that pretty? If you can see it, sorry about all the glare. The best way to experience stillness is all about bringing polarities, duality into balance. The only way for us to truly experience peace and balance and harmony is to bring polar opposites, contrasting feelings, counterintuitive feelings or thoughts or beliefs into harmony. There is a stillness that resides within. It's not that we have to create stillness so much, but it's about tapping into that place. It is about allowing yourself to receive peace. It's about allowing yourself to receive a rest. It's about allowing yourself to receive a respite, a time where you get to just relax, kind of pull back the lens on everything that's happening and not actively engage necessarily. And I did a live about this the other day, that we often feel the impetus to be constantly in production mode, yes? That we feel like this constant sense of you have to be producing, you have to be doing something, you have to be making something, you have to be creating something. Something has to be happening in order to really validate our experience here on planet Earth. And we live in hyper-productive societies where this is drilled into our psyches all the time, that the mark of our value is how much are we producing? What are we making? What are we doing? Sitting around and doing nothing is frowned upon. But here's the thing, that's how you find the stillness within. It's this point of understanding that there is a cycle of manifestation, there is a cycle of creation. And as women, we're very adept at understanding the circular motion of things, the cyclical motion and cycle of things. We understand that when you are manifesting something, there is a time to be in creation mode, where you're actively acting on divine inspired action to create something, to make something happen. Then you're in that place of allowing yourself to receive it, which a lot of us have trouble with, and which is why one of the reasons why I'm teaching the Money Lab. But then there is a time where we sit with the manifestation of our desires, and we really allow the expanded feeling of that to take over, to let ourselves bask in that space. to send a message to the universe while we are in stillness, basking in the glory of what we've just manifested, because we're such brilliant creators. We're sending a message in that place of stillness to the universe saying, I really like this. I've just come off of this brilliant manifesting cycle, or I'm in the middle of it, because you really are. You think you are done when you allow yourself to receive the manifestation, but you're not. The cycle continues. But it's this last part of the cycle that we leave out that really is energetically shooting us in the foot. But this place of stillness that we can access, it's not creating it. You are tapping into what's already there. It already resides within you, the stillness. It's saying to the universe, I like this. I like being in this place of receiving my desires. You are expanding your overall energetic. You are sustaining a very, very high frequency that the universe, source consciousness, understands as, this is good. She likes this. She likes being in this place. Let's give her more of that. And because the universe co-creates with you, you're essentially co-creating with that part within you that is source. What you're receiving in this next part of the cycle, and this is why it's really important for us to stay in the stillness a little bit longer, what you're receiving in that next part of the manifesting cycle is all the inspiration, the creativity for what you're creating next. That new implanting of a desire where the seed is planted, it germinates, and it starts to blossom and bloom within you. But we often just go right into production mode and we skip this whole last step. So we're not really completing a cycle of manifestation, in a sense. And it can feel a lot more enriching, self-satisfying, and fulfilling if we allow ourselves the stillness. Good card. Good card. I love it. So who's next? Who wants to come in next? Okay, Isis Oracle from Milena Fairchild. One of my favorite decks. It's intense. The energies on this deck are really intense. Has anyone ever worked with it? Hi, Chris. Hi, Joanne. Remember, I'm not answering individual questions for you, but I can have a look-see into the cards if you want to know something about what the next few months is going to be bringing up. Things like that. We're just doing it kind of generally. So this is the Isis Oracle. Clearing my cards again. Okay. And I love the outside of these cards. Isn't that beautiful? It's a gorgeous deck. And it's like you pick it up and it's just like heavy, palpable, pulsating energy. It's powerful. Ooh. Well, isn't this perfect? This is perfect based on what I'm doing over the next few months with what I'm just starting to do as a mentorship, the Mother Code DNA reintegration. Chariot of Ascension. And I have never pulled this card before, so I'm going to need to read about it. But let me just feel into it here. Spiritual work of the higher initiate. Think about the last few months. Those of you who are actively participating in a dynamic healing journey of your own at this time. Think of what has been healed and released for you in the last few months and what is continuing to integrate as a result of that. We often think that, I'm just tuning into the card here and what's the inlay of the spiritual message here of the card. We often think that when we are on this pathway of planetary ascension, we move into the realms of 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D to 12D and beyond, that our earthly problems, the things that are issues here while we are in 3D, we think that, poof, it just goes away when we ascend. But here's the thing about ascension. Because we are opening up to higher energetic frequencies that are very high, on the energetic spectrum, when you think of where we are here in 3D, which is kind of low-ish compared to what we experience when we go into 4D, 5D, and beyond, we are accessing these higher energetics. But the only way to access them is to lose, release, clear, dissolve, heal the karma that's aligned with loop cycles of lack and scarcity, that's aligned with loop cycles of grief, sorrow, loss, disinheriting of power, because we're never powerless, but we disinherit it. Disavowing the truth of who we are. All of this stuff and our alignment with these energetics are not supported as we go into 5D and beyond. So in order to access and literally jump on this ride of the Chariot of Ascension, we must be willing to be dynamically involved in our own healing and release process, and release that which is keeping us tethered in the rigid energetic confines of 3D. Because literally, if we want to jump on this Chariot of Ascension, we can't access it. Think of it this way. What is involved in karma, for instance? And if we don't realize we're on a repetitive cycle or loop of karma, meaning we keep living lifetime after lifetime, reintegrating, learning the same old lessons without finally marking them downloaded and complete, this keeps a hold on our energy. It keeps us in like a bubble of energy. And we're kind of bouncing around in the restricted dimensional range of 3D, and we may be able in this restricted dimensional range of 3D, be able to experience or see or have moments of feeling these higher energetics, but we can't ever fully access them and align with them fully unless we agree to release that which is holding us here in 3D, which is the pain. Maybe you're not forgiving someone. Maybe you're not releasing the energetic tethers you might have with someone or a situation or something in your past that happened. You don't allow yourself to release yourself from that on some level. You're holding a grudge. You're holding on to extreme grief in the heart. You are holding on to mental trauma and agreeing to play the victim or the martyr over and over again. This doesn't just go away when you say, poof, I want to be in 5D, because you literally can't go poof and access 5D if you're holding on to these energetics. So the higher work of the higher initiate, which is what this card is all about, means calling yourself on your own bullshit. Sorry, not sorry. And seeing where you're holding on to this stuff. How is it really serving you anyway? The only way this stuff really serves you is if you're fully willing to mark this lesson, this emotional experience, as downloaded and complete, saying, I complete this cycle of karma. And we have the power to complete a cycle of karma. And if you have trouble with that, you should reach out to me, because I'm really good at helping you do that. But you can actually do it with a statement. You can do it with your own empowering statement, if that is what you wish to release. But understand that marking a lesson downloaded and complete also means saying goodbye to the drama. So some of us are addicted to the drama that we engage in. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Giselle. Wendy Price. I like that name, Giselle. Hello. So we have to be willing to call shenanigans on our own BS and say, okay, do I get something? Do I get a kick out of playing the victim? Do I get a kick out of being the martyr? Do I get a kick out of blaming everyone else for my stuff and not taking responsibility 100% for my own reality? If the answer is yes, then moving into that space of being the higher initiate, being able to unlock sacred codes of your DNA, being able to work with sacred geometry, being able to work with higher ascended realms over and over again, is going to be, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's going to be very difficult for you to access that. You have to be willing to let go of what you're done with. Release, release, release. But I'm going to read the definition. Chariot of Ascension. spiritual work of the higher initiate. And because this is a Merkaba, I have a free Merkaba activation that's on my YouTube channel. Do you want me to post it here? Because it's wonderful. And it allows you to create using crystalline energy. And you don't actually have to get crystals, physical crystals. You can if you want to, and it helps because the crystals hold a lot of energy and light and information. But you can create your own physical Merkaba. Let me pull it up then, because Tammy says yes. Personal Merkaba field activation, where are you? I'm calling to you. It's really powerful, really expansive. Right now is an excellent time to do this because on the heels of what we're talking about here, which is releasing and calling shenanigans on your BS, there is also an alignment in this YouTube activation for collapsing timelines. And that is one of the ways that we dissolve the karma, is we collapse the timelines. Joanne says yes. Giselle says yes. Okay, well, ladies, here you go. I aim to please. Boom. And please let me know what you think. You know, put it here in the group. I don't know if you're going to be watching. If you are in my group, if you like what I'm talking about, you should be in my group, Ascending Earth Creatrix, which I can also put the link up for that. This is my free Facebook group. I have other paid Facebook groups, but this is my free one. In case you're watching here on my business page. Chariot of Ascension, the Merkaba. Spiritual work of the higher initiate. Your soul wishes to travel more freely between the dimensions of higher reality. This is to allow for conscious spirit communication, the free flow of soul light into the physical body, and the joining in divine harmony of heaven and earth. It requires a powerful consciousness to do this. The Merkaba, Chariot of Ascension, and Soul Fire is the spiritual gift to attain these divine purposes now, available to you as a high initiate. Well, and there you go. And now you have your powerful tool and resource to be able to play with this. And remember, even though it feels like work to release and heal on a deep soul level, think of it as, I want to be able to play and be the higher initiate. I want to play in these ascended realms a little bit more. So that means in order to be able to access more of that, to literally clear up and create an energetic void within you, it is about releasing. It is about creating the energetic space to allow for these high frequency energies to come in. And it is not, again, not impossible, but very, very difficult for conflicting energies to exist in the same space at once. So when you're working with the higher ascended realms, it is almost impossible for you to be holding on to so much lack and scarcity mentality, and at the same time saying, I want to go over here, I want to access these realms here. And to be honest with you, it's just not going to happen. Hi, Michael. Hi, who else is here? Tammy Beck is joining. This explains the journey I've just had. Awesome. I'm glad that this gives you some insight. So, Chariot of Ascension. I love that card. Okay, next card. And do play with that Merkaba spiritual alignment that I shared here. And please get back to me. Let me know. You can just put a post on my business page if you don't want to join my group. And let me know what you thought of it, what opened up for you. I'd love to hear. And if you are in Ascending Earth Creatrix, please share there. You can share it right in this thread. All right, I'm being drawn to Earth Magic again. So let's go with that. Again, Earth Magic cards are from Michael D. Farmer. And for those of you that are joining, who've just jumped on, I'm not doing individual card readings because I don't do that live anymore in a public space. Because the energy I share with you when I do readings for you, because I am a master intuitive energy healer, my work goes very deep. This is not the forum for us to do that kind of work. So these are general readings. Ah, there it is. Ah, and it's funny because remember what I said about bringing things into balance. That's what the equinox is all about. And I know some of you will be watching this replay are not watching in the Northern Hemisphere. So here we go, spring equinox. For my friends in the Southern Hemisphere. But what's really important about this is a rebirth. And this, of course, that's the name of the card as well. So for my friend, I'm very aware of the fact that I have people who follow me from all over the world, which is so exciting for me, by the way. And because a lot of my clients are online, I work with a lot of women in Australia and New Zealand. For some reason, my New Zealand and Australian friends really like my work and resonate with me, and I have a lot of clients, few clients presently, but a lot in the past who have worked with me from there. So how perfect that we have this card for you. But think about this rebirth card as something that speaks to, you know, both hemispheres. Even though the spring equinox is about rebirth, it is about expanding outward. And really the autumnal equinox is about drawing inward. It's just two parts of the same energy, isn't it? Rebirth can be experienced when you understand that there's a balance there, inherent in that. Because even when we are drawing inward, there is a sense of a rebirth of spirit. Especially if you're here listening since the beginning of the call, I was talking about how this is a time of integration. And any time you come out of a very chaotic time of releasing, of healing, which is what the summertime was all about for us, anytime you come out of this almost, chaotic period where everything feels like it's gotten shaken up, and you feel like maybe, you know, have you ever seen one of those paint shakers where it's very, very vigorous? Many of us are coming off the heels of this summertime feeling like that. In fact, we're still kind of rippling from that. And if you are, do some grounding. Do some more grounding with that, because you can experience a settling of that if you ground actively. But in that integration of then calling in the fullness of all the lessons, all the wisdom, all the knowledge, the information that came in for you, even though it was this time of chaos. After this integration, it is like a rebirth, because you are able to emerge renewed, with a new sense of purpose even, a refreshed spirit, an enlivened feeling about who you are, what you're here to do, what you're here to experience. Understanding maybe in a deeper way that all our purpose here is, every single one of us has a purpose. The fundamental purpose being for us to constantly be in joy and to seek out that which is joy, that which is joyful, that which makes us feel expanded. And yes, the chaos and the drama of human experience will take us out of that energetic. But we understand this only through that contrast. If we were in joy all the time, we wouldn't have the experience of calling it joy or understanding the experience of this is joy. Because we haven't had a contrasting experience of grief or sadness, loneliness, depression. Whether we choose to stay in those energies is entirely up to us. This is a period of rebirth for all of us, no matter what hemisphere that you're in, because we're taking a long process of healing and release and integrating all the lessons for that, hopefully marking a lot of the karmic loop cycles that we were able to recognize during that time, maybe cycles of behavior that are creating limiting ways of being. We've been able to reconcile with that and say, you know what, done with that, done with that. Because how we truly mark something downloaded and complete is creating new behaviors to actualize a different reality. Yes? That's always rebirth. So there it is, the spring equinox. So now we're moving on to the Isis Oracle. We're getting into some juicy stuff here. I'm not really called to the hidden realms yet. Maybe I will be on the next card. I'm going to draw probably 2 or 3 more cards. Tammy says yes. All right. What do we need to know now? Okay. I have a feeling I know what's coming in here. Path of the Divine Warrior. Again, this is from the Isis Oracle from Alana Fairchild, one of my favorite decks. Path of the Divine Warrior and Divine Destiny. Coming off the heels of what I just talked about. and being put through the emotional, mental, spiritual ringer that many of us have over the last few months. Think of it this way. We had a lot of converging celestial events, really powerful celestial events. We had solar storms. We had, full moons. We had full moons aligning with certain planetary aspects that created this really big upsurge of energy, almost like volcanic level energy. It just felt like, I don't know how much more of this I can take. But what it has really done is strengthen us. And our inner divine warrior is strength personified, really. So we've been able to, through this process, see exactly where we are the strongest, what we can really take, in a sense. And it's not a test. It has not been a test. It is not a test. We're not going to be tested. The universe doesn't work that way. It's about contrast all the time. Through this contrast, we were able to download some lessons and learn some things about who we are, the strength of our character, the strength of our resolve. I can speak personally to this because I was feeling a strong sense of upheaval and resistance to something coming in, particularly with the Mother Code DNA reintegration that I'm doing. I had been feeling a lot of resistance around that, thinking, I'm not the one to bring this in. Not for me, not for me, not for me. But I thought about many times before where I had the universe nudging me in a certain direction, where I said no. I said no. I said no, over and over and over again. But the universe kept finding creative ways to come at me in a different direction. Can anyone understand what I'm saying? Like, okay, you said no to this, but how about if we do it this way? Well, how about if we do it this way? Or how about if we do it this way? It was like the universe didn't give up on me. Because the source consciousness that moves through me and that is part of me understood that you are asking for greater levels of your divine purpose to be shown to you. Yet on an ego level, you're saying, not for me, I'm not the one, I'm not worthy of that, whatever it is, and saying, no, 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 no. But the universe didn't give up on me. And said, okay, well, how about this way? How about we show it to you this way? How about we show it to you this way? How about we gift you with this person to help you see it another way or look at it another way? And only do you see in hindsight, sometimes, how much the universe supports you. And how much it knows way more about your divine destiny than you do sometimes. And we have to trust it. And we have to trust that we have this inner warrior energy to be able to move through any of these transitions, not only with the support of the universe backing us 100%, 200%, 500%, but that we have all the strength and courage within to be able to carry out our divine mission. We have help. We always do. We are never alone. That makes sense. Thank you. Good, good. And I know I'm speaking to many of you on a very intimate level here because I just came out of this transition. So I feel you, sisters and brothers. I totally feel you on this. I know what it can feel like, and it can feel like you're being tested, but that's not what it is at all. The universe is saying, are you ready? Okay, maybe you're not ready now. How about now? And you just have to trust that there are divine opportunities to help you fill out your divine destiny, but we have to trust. We have to have faith. We have to move into greater levels of courage. We have to access that divine warrior spirit within to trust that sometimes. And this is going to be something that's coming up for us again. So I mentioned that we're in this kind of pause, this kind of quiet before the storm, because by the time mid-October to late October rolls about, I'm seeing a lot of upheaval again and this kind of questioning. Whenever we come to the end of a marker in a cycle, and there's no better marker in a cycle than the end of a year, we come into a lot of self-doubt, self-judgment, the inner critic really kicks in as we move towards the end of the year. Like, I didn't do this year. This didn't happen for me. I wanted this. This was my dream. Why didn't I take up that opportunity? Dig in here. Dig into that divine warrior, because you will need him, before the year is out. And that divine warrior is one voice of your intuition. It's just one voice. It is a very strong and powerful voice, so all you have to do is lean in and listen to it, and then have the courage to follow it. Hi, Tammy. Hi, lovely lady. And again, you're not being tested. You're being asked. The universe asks you, just like you ask the universe for things, the universe asks you right back. It doesn't test you. The universe is your buddy, and it supports you and always has your back. Yes, or feeling unworthy. I didn't see what Wendy says. I feel the most difficult part is to surrender and accept we are not in control. We are not in control of the situations, of where we get triggered, of things that happen, but we are always in control in how we respond. It's important to understand that distinction, because that is where we do have control. And you can respond with a very high energetic, and that is the definition of responding, or you can react, which is a very low grade way to come to a decision with something. When you respond to a situation that feels out of control, or is spiraling out of control, or feels chaotic, when you respond, you're responding with your higher self. When you react, you are reacting with the ego. Accountability, yep. Surrendering is a beast, It sure is. All right, now we're moving on to the Hidden Realms card. This will be the second to last. Giselle says, yes, this feeling pops up sometimes. Indeed. All right, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. Colette Baron Reed, one of my favorites. Sorry about the glare, guys. And it's backwards, but I have no control over that. I have no control, so I'm responding. I'm not reacting. All right, let's see what we got here. And these cards are going to take their time. Maybe that's why I didn't want to draw from them in the beginning. But I find with these cards, it takes a while. Sometimes when you draw cards, certain decks, the cards just pop right out. Other ones, molasses in January. Oh, here we go. Ooh. The Sacred Union. And here we are. The Sacred Union. And isn't this interesting that we are pulling this card at a time of the sacred union of equal day and night, almost equal day and night. Ain't no coincidences, ladies and gentlemen. The sacred union, partnership, romance. But this card came in upside down, so that means that it is a challenge card. Right off the bat, what comes in with this being a challenge card is that we are literally challenged often with, just by some of the things we're talking about here right now. Challenged in how we balance the polarities of masculine and feminine aspects of our lives. Let's take some examples in the sense that knowing that what you have healed or released, and having a clearer sense of discernment with what you want to do, what your purpose is, what you want to carry out, what you want to happen for you. How do you begin to dedicate yourself to that? Are your energies in going after that and making that happen very balanced? Meaning, are you willing to act with courage? Are you willing to listen and surrender to the voice of your intuition? Right there, you're talking about balance. courage to act is masculine. Listening to your feminine intuition, obviously very feminine balanced. Are you willing to dedicate yourself with focus and commitment to what it is that you want, unwaveringly? Meaning, you're not going to listen to the naysayers. You're not going to listen to the doubters, the haters. That's very masculine. Are you also going to be willing to surrender to certain outcomes? Meaning, sometimes we have a very clear definition or vision of what we want and how it shows up, that it can only show up this way. It's got to look like this. Okay, well, and I'll tell you something very interesting about manifesting. Visualizing is very masculine. The essence, or how something feels, is very feminine. So it's about balancing those polarities as well. Because when we're manifesting, we think visualization is everything. But here's where we shoot ourselves in the foot. If you visualize something as showing up and it only looks like this, well, maybe how that feels in your life could also look like this. But you've got tunnel vision. You only see this one thing of how you want to look, how you want it to look, and it looks like this. So when the other thing shows up and it's giving you the same feeling, the same outcome, but it looks different, you won't recognize it when it shows up. This has happened to me many times. So when I manifest, it's all about the essence. It's all about what is the feeling I'm searching for when I'm creating. And how do I balance this with some visualization and the feeling of it? What do I want it to feel like when it shows up? And how do I get into that feeling right now so that I can play with the energy of living as if? Meaning, if I'm already occupying the energetic of how I want this thing to feel when it comes in, then boom, here it comes. It's coming right in now because I'm already in the energetic. Because if you're not energetically aligned with what you want to receive, you're not in a place of receiving it. This also involves a bit of surrender. Because if you're in the energetic of this higher thing that you want, that has a higher vibration and offers you a higher quality of experience, that feels really good. So does trust. So does faith. Faith is having this kind of foregone conclusion, like, I just know it's going to show up. Like, done deal, period, the end. I just know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's coming. It may not be the way I visualized it, but I can feel it. It's coming. I'm already in the feeling of it. This is the stuff we're talking about in the Money Lab, by the way. So if you don't know how to do this, I'm actually very good at teaching you how to do this. The feeling part is where I'm working because my head is overactive. And this is true for many of us, Tammy. This is not just you. Don't feel like you're the only one who struggles with this. Many people struggle with this. But here's the thing about our ascension process. It's all about feeling as we ascend on this timeline into 4D, 5D, and beyond. It's all about feeling. It's all about feeling. There's a little hint there for you about what's to come. So, bringing this sacred union into balance, understanding that what you're manifesting, what you're going after, what you want to happen, is about bringing the polarities into balance. Dedication and focus, and surrender. Yes, using your logic, using your reasoning, but also listening to your intuition. Balance, balance, balance. And there's no better reminder of this at this time than being in the equinox, right? When we're experiencing the equal balance of day and night. Yeah, I get you. Releasing unhealthy attachments versus embracing love, yes. Very, very difficult to hold on to those two things at once. Because if you have unhealthy attachments, Wendy, isn't that about this feeling of lack? If you're not allowed to release yourself from something that is unhealthy, it's almost like saying, well, this is the best that I can get right now. This is the best that's coming my way, which is totally aligned with a lack mentality. Embracing love is opening up your abundance filter, I call it, and embracing a much higher energetic. So you can't hold on to those two things at once. And it's a difficult, slippery slope. But one thing is going to give. One thing will always give. One thing will always tip the scales. And you know what that is? It's the thing that you give more attention and energy to. Always. Always, always, always. Need. Need and want. All right, one more card. I'm going Hidden Realms again. Okay. I love it. And I don't think I mentioned, but this did show up as a challenger card. So that means that, yes, everything you're responding here, ladies, we are being challenged with this. But we're being challenged in such a way that we're being shown the contrast of, you can either have this way, and you've seen how that's worked out. You've seen how that really doesn't serve you anymore. Or it can be this way. Because let's face it, and let's be honest, we are seeing glimpses of a better way of being, of a higher quality of life. And we're walking in and out of this energetic and moving in and out of this energetic all the time. But it is our free will choice of allowing ourselves to sustain that energetic or not. So where are you making choices to not stay in this energetic? Why are you making those choices? Look at the fears behind that. Look at why you enact or behave in certain ways. Certain behaviors are done over and over again. Why are you doing that? How does it serve you? Many times it's just what we've done for so long, it's force of habit. And you have to look at how the subconscious will kind of thwart those efforts of you moving into a different energetic. If you don't unravel the fear that is at the heart of that, at the core of that fear that keeps you in a behavior of self-negating feelings, self-negating quality of life. Why do we do it? What are we getting out of it? Because there is some payoff at some level. And again, ladies, this is the stuff that we work on in the Money Lab. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So your money story has a lot to do with your story about you. Even though money is not something that has an energy of its own. It is simply an energy. It is neutral. But it is highly charged with all of our energetic imprints of lack, our money stories, our money memories that we put on it. Largely, this gets mirrored back on our feelings of unworthiness, who we think we are. We put it against this mirror of money, when it really should be the other way around. So this is the stuff that we work on in the Money Lab. Okay, Hidden Realms. One more card. Bum, bum, bum. Where are they? Okay. Okay. One more card. When I talk about wealth consciousness, I talk about wealth consciousness in terms of it is an inside job. So how you feel about wealth mirrors how you feel about yourself. So if you're holding on to a lot of feelings of unworthiness, you are not going to call money in. But that doesn't mean that money cares one way or the other, whether you think you're a bad person or whether you think you have inherent value or whether you think you're unlovable. Money doesn't care about any of that stuff because it has no inherent energy of its own. It is simply a hologram that holds all of the energetic imprints of your limiting beliefs, your limiting stories, your limiting feelings, your trapped emotions, trapped stories around money. Things that you grew up with from the time you were 6, 7, 8 years old. I've been in this moving in and out. It's confusing. Yes. Very confusing. Tammy Lip brilliantly said. Thanks, Tammy. And I want to thank all of you for joining me here today. I don't often do card readings, but it is always fun when I do them. So thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping me company on my anniversary when the husband had to go to work. All right, what do we need to know? What a brilliant way to go out. The Phoenix. Rising from the ashes, ladies. Where the Phoenix soars to ever-increasing heights. How beautiful. Resurrection. Surrender. There's that word. Surrender to change. Oh, thanks, Joanne. I appreciate it. And you're welcome back. The Phoenix. What an empowering card to leave this reading session with, yes? Resurrection. So here we are in the autumnal equinox. We have about 90 days left. Just over 100 until the end of the year. So many of us feel like we've been put through the ringer this year energetically. Many of us are coming off the heels of some dissolved relationships, friendships with that were platonic or romantic. Some of us have lost some people in a greater sense, meaning they've gone on to a different dimensional reality. Many of us are grieving for lost parts of self, which is one of the hardest things to reconcile with as we move away more and more from this 3D timeline and we collapse more of the low frequency energies that are aligned with this 3D timeline. What has gone away with that are parts of self, identities that we have cultivated over a lifetime based on feelings, beliefs, behaviors that have allowed us to adopt a personality. But this is only a part of the story. It is only one small speck of the greater hologram of your truth. Meaning there's always more for you to uncover. There is always more to know about yourself. There are always greater levels of expansion into your spiritual evolution, your spiritual journey, where you understand more of your divine inheritance of abundance. You understand more of your power, that you wield great power to create, to manifest your reality, to build your reality at will, without needing to ask permission from others, without needing to have validation, corroboration from others. It's really like spreading your wings at this point, at this time, particularly on our linear timeline, our continuum of what we understand as 3D time here. We're picking up, brushing ourselves off, literally dusting the ashes off from our surrender to the return of our true self. And we are spreading our wings and we are taking flight. That was a mini little channeled message for you. I hope that feels expansive for you. It is meant to. Understand that you are a lot stronger and you have a lot more resolve than you think you do. You always have help. You always have the support of the universe at your back. You're always loved. I tell this to my clients quite often when they are in a space of, I can't do this anymore. I can't possibly keep doing this peeling away of layers. I can't possibly keep doing this healing. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. These are all illusions that are attached to the rigid confines of your 3D experience. And it is only a part of truth that is a larger truth that exists in the universe. And I always tell people, if you could only see yourself the way the rest of the universe, the way source consciousness sees you, we're all walking around, not even walking around, we're these bouncing bubbles of light. We are just pure light. The way we see ourselves and translate matter into form in a visual sense with our sensory perception, we see each other as dense matter. But again, this is only part of the truth of who we are. It's but a small speck of the truth of who we are. We are light beings at our core, and very powerful, very beautiful, very elegant, very capable of higher levels of love. We just happen to be inhabiting a human form at this time. And we forget this because we're in a very dense energetic vibration here. But it's never not true that we are light beings. We just happen to be translating this light beingness into a human form and translating a human experience out of what we know or what we're starting to remember about our infinite nature. We're putting these pieces of the puzzle together all the time. So take a deep breath. Feel into your heart space. Go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment. And feel the resonance of your infinite being rise up from the heart space, even if you experience it as this tiny little bubble of light or this tiny little grain of sand. Start expanding it outward. Maybe it has a color, maybe it's yellow, maybe it's red, maybe it's blue. Start expanding this out until it reaches the borders and the dimensions of your physical being, reaching out to the entirety of your physical being. And then keep expanding it out past the body. In a bubble of light, expanding out 360 degrees all around you. Keep it going. 25 feet out, 35 feet out. Let it keep going, keep expanding. Way into the astral field. Into the web of life, the divine creative matrix that connects you with the all that is. Feel all the other bubbles of light bouncing around. Plug into the collective energy of the infinite, of pure source energy, divine consciousness. And take another deep breath in and pull that all back into your heart. And if you want to take this further, take it all the way down from the heart space through the body, go through all the layers of the earth and take it down into the crystalline core of Mother Earth and ground this energy there. And when that feels complete, go ahead and open your eyes. How's that feel? Happy equinox, everyone. I hope that you have a beautiful end of your day, a beautiful weekend. And I want to wish you so much love and peace. Bye-bye.